I never wanted to make him feel like he is stuck with me. Just because we have a child together does not mean you're obligated to stay with me. There are lots of options for us.
We get 2 days a week. She's allowed to stay at my house, and the other 5, she's got to be back home.
What are you doing for work?
Bartending. Okay. And the show, of course, which is also, like, in its right, a full-time job.
I'm still going through the divorce. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm in a place of higher healing and an elevated healing than he is right now.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's alleged baby daddy Ken Erker is giving his take when it comes to their pregnancy, admitting that it was very much too soon. Maybe Ken is starting to regret everything. Keep in mind that Gypsy got pregnant just a few months after getting out of prison. I actually just saw her make a post on Instagram where she shared some like 4D image of their baby, which I don't know why people do this. It's, wait, what? Like, you're telling me this is supposed to be the baby? Get a zoom in on this. This is like every single baby out there. But she's obsessed. Ken said, I would agree with the sentiment that yes, it was very much too soon. At the same time, it's a child, so it's a blessing. I think I had a whole cocktail of emotions in that moment, and I think I needed a minute to process. Nick Vile recently interviewed Gypsy, and he asked them about the moment she found out she was pregnant. I was like getting ready for work, Ken said. It was very shocking. I think my jaw just dropped. I was like, oh my gosh, is this for real? Have you taken more than one test? Are you sure about this? Actually, I interviewed someone recently, very special. I'm not going to say who, but it's going to be on a show that I am doing. And in this interview, she revealed that she was the 4th person to figure out that Gypsy was pregnant, or to be told by Gypsy that she was pregnant. So you guys can guess who you think that is.
And also, I never wanted to make him feel like he is stuck with me. That is not what I want. I'm like, if, I want you to be with me because you are happy in this relationship. You want this relationship. Just because we have a child together does not mean you're obligated to stay with me. There are lots of options for us. If you don't want this child, I will be the mother. That is my responsibility. That's your choice. If you want to show up.
Now, we've spoken about the fact that Gypsy is not living with Ken at the moment. And this comes down to the legalities of her parole and what she can and cannot do. Gypsy will be living with her parents instead of her boyfriend Ken as they welcome their baby girl. Due to the restrictions of her parole, she's not able to live with Ken and will have to reside with her parents for the first few months of her baby's life. She's living in Cutoff, which is about an hour away from where Ken lives. She says she's living there until she's off parole, so they've been trying to figure out how many days they can actually spend together once the baby's born. She said that they'll be essentially co-parenting even though they are together, so kind of parenting like a divorced couple would. She shares, so having that restriction in particular poses an issue, and so that is something we have talked about extensively. Even though we have a history behind our relationship and a foundation, we're just getting back together after a 5-year separation, and never having a relationship in the real world, having to spend time with each other without officers watching their every move. She said that they were only a month in post-separation and they were already pregnant, so they're having very serious conversations very quickly. Now, Gypsy's on parole until June of 2025, and that's only if she keeps up the good behavior. Which, if you guys think about where we are right now in time, it's not that far away, but it's pretty far in Gypsy time. I mean, Gypsy operates about, I feel like every 3 months is about a year in our time, so that's like 3 more years of Gypsy time. So who knows what could happen by now until June 2025.
So you moved to New Orleans, you got a new job,
Mm-hmm.
you got a new place.
Mm-hmm.
How is it being so close to her?
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, she's only an hour away, so we get to spend a lot of time together. And we get 2 days a week. She's allowed to stay at my house, and then the other 5, she's got to be back home.
Okay, not bad.
So yeah, it's not too bad. And like I said, it's only an hour drive, so it's not that crazy. And I think the only part that I'm most worried about is in January when the baby's born. Obviously, we'll still have 5 months left of parole. So that's going to be really tricky co-parenting with this with these restrictions.
How often can you stay at her house? Is that
so I can stay at her house whenever I want.
Okay.
But if I'm working, it doesn't really work out that well.
What are you doing for work?
Bartending.
Okay.
Yeah. And the show, of course, which is also like in its right a full-time job.
Wait, the fact that Ken gets a 2-day on, 5-day off schedule, he's got it made, because I don't know if there's this is a hot take. I don't even think I'm going to take it. Yeah, we're going to save that for something else. Hot take. But yeah, I just don't know. Let's just say maybe 48 hours is just all he needs a week. Nebraska Nurse asks, I wonder what Ken's family thinks of all this, which is a good question. I'm sure they're confused, but they probably went through a lot of those emotions years ago when he first started dating an inmate. Gypsy's still finalizing her divorce from her ex, Ryan Anderson, and says that she doesn't feel like she's the type of person who wants their partner to marry them just because they're having a baby together. Ken has his own life, and if he wants to marry me, he will propose. He'll make his own decision based on what he wants to do, so I don't put any input on it, which that sounds actually pretty healthy and humble, Miss Gypsy. Gypsy says that when it comes down to Ryan, that she has been trying to have a very civil conversation with Ryan about everything, but they don't communicate often, saying, I just really wanted to, have that closure, that one conversation that kind of closed everything up. We had that. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm in a place of higher healing and elevated healing than he is right now. So I've kept my distance. A little bit shady, saying that Ryan is, I guess, being petty, which we've seen Ryan be petty on TikTok. We're actually kind of living for it.
Gypsy, we kind of watched you go back and forth with Ryan on social media. At what point were you like, I'm done with this, I've got to stop?
I'm still going through the divorce, which will be finalized sometime this month. I mean, honestly, I have been trying to have a very civil conversation with Ryan about everything because we don't communicate often. I really just wanted to have that closure, that one conversation that kind of closed everything up. And we had that. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm in a place of higher healing and an elevated healing than he is right now. And so I've kept my distance, hoping that he could find that happiness and that healing for himself. What I want for him is to find his happiness in whatever form that is. And I encourage that. I have no ill will towards him at all. I wish him the very best. But any communication right now is just not in the best interest of our healing.
I don't think Ryan really had much confidence from Gypsy. And while she did screw him big time, I do think that she gave him a little bit of boost when it came to ego. And we definitely see that play out online.
Ryan got to glow up. I appreciate that. Can you be mine? I will say this, I have gotten a lot of numbers, people on messages. I did look up area code and it was like, where was it? It was like Idaho. Like, how the heck could I start a relationship with somebody in Idaho? I'm in Louisiana. I mean, it'd be a long distance relationship.
I'm actually looking forward to the Ryan saga being over because he was so creepy on the show. You guys remember he just could not keep his hands off of Gypsy, and she just got out of prison a couple of minutes ago. Either way, that divorce happened pretty quickly, so they figured it out, which just reiterates that I think that like 3 months of Gypsy time is a year of our time. This person wrote that they feel immensely sorry for that baby. Oh, not the baby. Let's put the little digital picture up on the screen again. The digital baby. Oh, it's a real baby, but right now it's digital. Give it a rest. She should have never been made out to be some celebrity ever. There's also no chance that neither expected a pregnancy because they both don't know how babies are made. Wow. Because a lot of people think that Ken might be, you know what I mean? It's upsetting to see her be made out as newsworthy and some celebrity taking pictures, eating at Nobu. Like, seriously, the guy she manipulated to end her mom's life is rotting away and she's posting pictures and baby registries. It's a wild, wild world. Let me talk. You've got that right. This one is for Ken. They write, this man needs mental health counseling. The fact that he reached out to her while she was in prison and then fell in love with her should be proof enough that something is seriously wrong here. Praying for this defenseless, innocent child who will be born to these two human beings. Which, wait, why did this make me think, okay, conspiracy. Now, if people do think that Ken is, you know what I mean, like, then maybe he went after someone who was in prison to kind of serve as a beard, someone that he could like kind of marry and, you know, have that cover. And allegedly, this is my opinion, I'm just literally making up a story. So he went for someone who he thought would never get out of prison and that could keep his family and the public at bay. Still, granted, it's odd to marry someone who's in prison, but at least he doesn't, you know, have to do anything. I don't know. That's such a random thought that came to my head. You guys can tell I'm thinking about this way too much. Now, Ken does address the fact that he left Gypsy while she was in prison. He attributes this to the attention that he received for being with Gypsy and all the media attention, which I think that is a valid reason as well, especially because he is not, or at least he didn't seem like he was someone trying to seek out celebrity.
What did Gypsy say about the ending of that relationship, and what did you feel wasn't accurate?
That like I had just like left her because the media attention was just too much, and that just wasn't accurate. It was because a lot of people had been reaching out to me at the time telling me that like you need to allow her to have this journey of self-discovery. I felt that to be true, so that was the reason why we had separated.
How was that for you, Gypsy, to hear that that was his reasoning instead of what you thought?
It really touches your heart when you realize that that was a sacrifice that he made, putting his own feelings aside and doing what was best for me at the time.
And can you take us back to how y'all even met in the first place?
Yeah, so I saw her original documentary. After watching it, I just felt so much compassion, and I wrote her just a letter of just saying, hey, listen, like I saw your story. I want you to know that we support you. And it was just like a one-off send. I didn't expect to hear back from her. And then I did. And then we just kind of started writing each other on the regular.
It is wild how many men reached out to Gypsy in prison. Ken is one of many. Ryan is one of many. I mean, that's saying a lot about the dating experience nowadays, that we've got people going after those who are locked up. And it's kind of a trend when you look at TikTok. I see this one person named Ash T. Comment below if you guys know who I'm talking about, because if you know, you know. And it's crazy. They go and date people who are inmates, like on purpose, because especially that Ash type of person can't get someone in the real world. No shade, but Gypsy Rose Blanchard has minimal contact with Kim Kardashian, but that's a line that is open. Oh, so she does have a number. Kim Kardashian knows how to weasel herself into every one of my videos. Gypsy said, I've kept in touch with her producer and I have like posted our selfies that we've taken, and Kim had liked them on social media. Kim shared that she wanted to get into prison reform and thought that meeting with Gypsy would be a great opportunity for her to learn, which is interesting because out of all the inmates in the world, we're going to go to Gypsy, but you know, it's a good moment for Hulu to capture. Nonetheless, Gypsy is so thankful for the platform that Kimberly gave to her, because a lot of people are looking at Gypsy as too controversial, because at the end of the day, she did, you know, help someone plan this attack. Let's take a look at that throwback moment on the Hulu show with the Gypsy.
I want to bring awareness. I want to be the person that I wish I had to guide me, but I feel very new at it. So I kind of feel like, what are my
like,
resources?
where do you go and how do you?
Yes, where do you begin?
I can totally help you.
I wonder how many people are actually out there. I mean, I do think there needs to be awareness so that you can go and can tell when someone has this kind of disease and they're putting their children through this. I feel like it's something that doctors in particular should have more training on, since they're the ones who would be like giving these procedures, these surgeries, these medications.
For that, because I had no clue.
Okay.
And I think I figured out the best team that can possibly help people, and I'm happy to introduce you to all of them.
Oh, I would appreciate that.
Will guide you in the right direction and what to do to help.
Okay.
I think she's like a perfect person to talk to.
A perfect person.
Like a younger generation. So hopefully with her help, we can try to bring therapy into more prisons and try to change the way that the system.
I do think that Gypsy was probably, I mean, she should have gotten therapy. That's ridiculous that she wasn't offered therapy, because what she had gone through, what, you're going to go and deal with other prison mates and they're going to help you heal? Gypsy actually never had seen the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians prior to meeting with Kim. She said she has sisters, right? She has a couple of sisters. That's like what I know about Kim, that she has Skims and that she was into prison reform, which is a little bit confusing to me, because I thought that prisons had televisions, or that a lot of times they had like communal TVs, but maybe she didn't. Now, a touchy subject is Gypsy's pregnancy and how she's going to operate as a mother. Maybe it's a good idea if she is at home with her dad and Christy. She says she's going to have to talk to her daughter about what she went through, and her, deceased grandmother, Dee Dee. She's not really worried about this right now because the baby's about to be born, so we've got at least a decade until she's going to be asking about grandma. But she says that her daughter can read her memoir, My Time to Stand, a memoir by Gypsy Rose Blanchard and 2 other ghostwriters. If you guys want to go and check it out, that's actually how she got permission from her parole to go and do these podcasts and to come to LA, because she's going and promoting this, which is great for her. I mean, it gets her a trip, gets her out of Louisiana, and she's working, so helping the economy. On top of her memoir coming out, she did announce that she's got a new show. So when you guys were wondering, when is this Gypsy mess going to end? Well, not anytime soon.
I've been working on my book, so I've been writing my memoir. We finished filming our Lifetime series. I want to say, I think it was in May.
Okay.
And then now we're currently filming again for a second season. And so we picked that up. And so, again, the roller coaster ride begins.
Now, Gypsy has been speaking a lot, and she does have some comments about the Menendez brothers. What a time to be a criminal getting out of jail. I mean, it's like you get out of your prison block and you are just escorted right to the red carpet, TV show lined up, book deals lined up. But Gypsy's saying that the Menendez brothers need to be prepared to have therapy ready for when they're out. She says that ABUSE victims need to be advocated for more and prisons need to be reformed. And she hopes that something can be done if Eric and Lyle were harmed, which I don't know why she's saying were, because I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. In this same statement, Gypsy calls Kim Kardashian a wise woman and applauds her for her prison reform work, which I actually question, what exactly is she doing? Not denying that she's doing something, but I wish I knew, like, give me just a few bulletin points. As for her advice for the Menendez brothers, she says the world is so different now, it can be hard to adjust. She recommends getting into therapy to help adjust to today's age, which I feel like that makes sense, but also maybe she has a point because they've been out a lot longer. We have a clip of her speaking to some paparazzi, so let's react to it.
The Menendez brothers. Have you been following that at all, or?
Not a whole lot. I'm not very educated in their case or anything. I mean, I really can't speak on the specifics of that case. I'm not really educated in that case. But I will say that I'm an advocate for abuse
Her teeth are looking really nice. I know she got her teeth redone, but look at those.
victims in general. And I'm all about prison reform.
So if that happened, though, if their parents did abuse them, I mean, do you support their release, you think?
I don't think either of us are educated enough on the subject to really give it a drink.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with Ken. I think that, if their case is being reviewed, then, hopefully something can be done. I think that,
LAX is so loud in the background.
abuse victims need to be advocated for more.
You guys know I was just talking about her new teeth that we saw in that video, and this headline reads, Gypsy Rose Blanchard shows off smile makeover years after her teeth were removed. Dr. Michelle Cochran, based in Louisiana, shared before and after photos of Gypsy's teeth. Her silver crowns that her mother forced her to get have been replaced with white teeth, which good for her. Oh my god, okay, actually, note to editor Olivia, can we actually blur the top middle part? Oh my gosh, I don't want to show that on YouTube. Maybe just blur the whole middle top. But those teeth below are amazing. Oh my god, I can't look anymore. I'm gonna get sick. Honestly, Dee Dee can rot in hell for making her daughter's mouth look like that, because if you guys can't see through the blur, it's essentially like nothing and like some metal teeth. It's like really, really sad. And now she's got a great smile, so really she does deserve that. I feel like taking away someone's teeth, their smile is just one of the most evil things that someone could do, especially a mother to a daughter, never really giving her a chance. So I'm glad that Gypsy is like, getting her nose job, getting her teeth fixed, like trying to have her little glow up, because if she's gonna be out and living, at least she should go and live her best life, I guess, right? I don't know. Comment below what you guys think about this video. I want to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.